Ladies and gentlemen, we don't do this often, but we felt like now was a good time to do so. The pennant race is as hot as it's ever been. We literally just finished probably less than a half hour ago. The best game of the night I think we've ever seen.
Definitely the most interesting game of the night we've ever seen.
And we figured we'd hop on here to break it down in a sense, a little. Here's why you're wrong, and we'll go back and forth and argue a few things. Plus, we'll give you a little look at the divisions of where they stand after today's sim, which we are recording this on Thursday, May 26th at 11:11 Eastern Standard Time.
And Andrew's going to get mad at you here. Date time. Andrew's a real stickler for that. He's going to put a little beep on there and put date.
I've been up since 5 a.m. All right, let's just jump right into this. I don't even know how to start talking about this game. I don't know if the headline should be the baseball gods just determine stuff.
No, it is the baseball gods just determining it. Fate is everything in baseball. And if fate decides you're going to win, it will drag you kicking and screaming to a victory no matter how much you want to lose. And I really don't know if Minerva wanted to win this game.
Minerva, we love you. Please understand there's a giant Chara bunny while we're talking about this. This is all love. Giant Chara bunny. But you are trying to lose this game. All right. We got to start. I mean, first of all, let's start with Matt McClendon did not pitch a good game. He hasn't been good all season. He's got a 6.04 ERA for a reason. Mm-hmm. Then, by some grace of God, you bring in this guy named Zach Ryan, 31 years old, who hasn't pitched since 2013 in the PCL. In 2023, he only had 13 innings and he had a 7.62 ERA. You pull him off the street. Don't even send him to the minors. Call him to the big leagues. He gives you 2 shutout innings.
And he was signed 3 days before the game. He was signed on 9/24.
I mean, I don't even know what to say. Then let's keep talking about his decisions. In the 8th inning, Jacques Landry, who was 1 for 3 with a triple, who's got a great bat in a big-time situation. You bring in the guy you've complained about all season and Miguel freaking
who strikes out twice in both of his at-bats.
I mean, jeez. And then, hold on. In the 9th inning, you call in Cairo to pinch hit when you could have brought on Masters, who then Masters hits the go-ahead home run in the 11th.
Well, no, and he pinch hit Cairo, and then Masters came into field.
Minerva, what the bleep are you doing?
Well, he joked. I think he joked about drinking tonight. I don't know how much of a joke it was.
I DM'd him after. I DM'd him during the game, and I was like, what are you doing?
And can we talk just for a minute? All of this, and the team still wins. Why can't Detroit win?
Detroit just sucks.
What's wrong with them?
I'm gonna do something I don't do here. I'm gonna admit I was wrong. Andrew, your team is not the biggest pretender in baseball anymore. That award goes to the Detroit Tigers.
They're 8-17 in September.
They're bad.
Right now they are, yeah.
They are pooping the bed, for lack of a better term.
I'd like to sit here and say I feel vindicated for being right, but honestly, at this point in time, I'm just kind of disappointed.
But honestly, my opinion, my question asked is who crapped the bed more with expectations this season? The Tigers right now or the Astros, who didn't even do anything in a tough AL West?
You know, I personally picked the Astros to be a playoff team in the preseason. And
so did I. I was there and I picked them. I said it was going to be a 3-team race between the Houston Astros, the Texas Rangers, and the Los Angeles Angels. And I thought 2 teams were going to come out of the West and 2 teams out of the East, which still remains true. But I thought it was going to be Astros Angels, and I thought it was going to be Orioles Rays.
Yeah,
Look where the heck I'm at.
You know, I would say that the two biggest disappointments in the American League this year have been the Rays and the Astros. Both of them are still in the playoff hunt right now, but both of them are teams that we expected to win their divisions. And if we didn't expect them to win their divisions, we expected them to be guaranteed playoff locks.
Why can I see Charles right now, like sitting there having a drink in his hand, just going, playoffs? Talking about playoffs.
Well, I can imagine him sending some funny memes our way after this.
Oh, very much so. Charles, we love you, but I mean, let's talk about the standings real quick. I feel like we'll be doing a disservice if we don't. Baltimore, you've all but clinched. Your magic number is 1 there in the AL East.
And we should have had that this last sim. Props, hats off to Aaron, who took some flack, you know, today, you know, getting called a pretender because they slipped off their pace a little bit, and then came into our house and took 2 of 3.
I also would like to point out congratulations to the Baltimore Orioles for the only team so far who has clinched the playoffs. So congratulations to you, Brenden. You actually did something right for once. All right, then let's go ahead and look at the AL Central, which, look out, Kansas City's only a game and a half back, which,
you know, for as nuts as this game of the night was, I feel like the loss in the final game of the series kind of really hurt Kansas City and might prevent them from winning the division. I think Detroit had just enough of a cushion to where they're going to be able to hold on. I don't want them to, but as
much as I would love to agree with you, I can't, because the teams that Detroit have to play are just a tad bit tougher than the teams that the Kansas City Royals have to play.
Oh, right. They both play Cleveland, and so I know what the dividing line for you is Kansas City has Minnesota, and Detroit gets to go and play the doo-doo Atlanta Braves.
But they have to face Max Fried and Ian Anderson in that series. My 2 best pitchers.
That's fair.
I'm not exactly letting them off with a cakewalk. And even though I love both Mark and Minerva, as you can saw by the game of the night, I'm pulling for my boy Minerva. So I will be, would I like a number 8 pick instead of the 9 overall pick in the draft? Yes, but if I can get Minerva into the playoffs by throwing everything I have at Mark, will I do that? Yes.
And I applaud you for it. And I really hope you do.
I really hope so too. It's going to be a lot of fun no matter what happens. Honestly, I kind of want to ask that to be the game of the day, but I know it would never happen. But maybe because Aaron doesn't like to wake up in the mornings. Aaron, shout out to you.
Get up in the morning.
All right. Sorry, I needed a drink there. Over in the West, Angels only 1 game up on the Rangers. Houston is sort of making something with 4 games back.
You know, no, they've hovered around this distance back for the last 2 months. Right now, it's kind of funny to watch the Rangers and the Angels because neither team wants to take the division right now.
I mean, you look at their remaining schedules. You got Oakland, who's loved to play spoiler recently, is playing the Angels for 3. And then Houston, the Angels have to get to host Houston at home. So
yeah, and then the Rangers they host Milwaukee, have an off day, and then host a 3-game series against the Rays, which could be a wild card game preview, or rather a wild card game decider, which one of them gets to go in.
Honestly, could this be the fact that all these teams have to play each other in the wild card? Could this be that AL Central teams weigh in?
No, I don't think so.
Because they almost have to all beat up on each other?
I don't think so. I think that there's too big of a gap right now. The Kansas City Royals are 5 games back. There's a week left to play.
Fair.
I don't see it.
Boston is, we look at Boston, who's sitting atop there. They got
the New York. They're tied right now. Right now, the Rangers and the Red Sox are tied.
You got the Yankees and the Blue Jays, and no offense to them. I mean, if Boston doesn't win 4 out of 6, they dug their own grave.
And we actually faced the same opponents, just in opposite order.
Right. So, I mean, you have to think Boston and you are both going to take 4 out of 6.
Yeah.
So it's really just a matter of Boston's playing for a wild card.
Boston's playing to host the wild card right now. I think Texas is fighting to stay alive. Tampa's fighting to get in.
I'd agree with that. Let's look over at the NL. Here come the Mets. Here come the Mets.
I love the Mets. I love them so much. They refuse to go down. They lose their best hitter. They lose their ace, presumable Cy Young candidate pitcher, and then they win 6 in a row.
So they're going to Miami to go play 3 against Miami, who I just took 3 out of 4 of in South Beach. So
and then they get to go to Philly, who they just swept in a 4-game series.
So it's really there for the Mets because the Nationals, they got to face Arizona, who we know is not going down lightly. And then they have to face Miami, who, you know, if Reddit continues to stay hot, Miami's a better team than I think any of us give them credit for.
You know what? Yes.
I will say that except for the fact that the Atlanta Braves have loved playing against Miami this season. We have really enjoyed playing Miami.
Yeah. Eddie's going to get his revenge on us all one of these days. I just don't know when it's going to be.
Yeah, I agree.
His next year, his bold predictions article is going to be, you know, big red capital letters. Miami makes the playoffs.
I like it. All right, let's take a look at the NL Central. Chicago Cubs. We're singing "Go Cubs Go."
You know what?
Cubs go.
I think my
say the Cubs are going. Sorry, I got a little
88 win prediction for the division winner very well is still alive right now.
Look,
Pirates have won 7 of their last 10.
Chicago plays Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. I believe so does St. Louis, if I'm not mistaken. Don't they play the same 2 opponents?
Yes, just inverse order, same amount of games.
Cubs are in the driver's seat, and in my opinion, I think Cubbies take it. And I've been saying that since we started this podcast. I've been on the Cubbies bandwagon.
1-game playoff. I don't see it ending any other way.
Playoff? No. Come on. I think both teams take 4 out of 6 from their opponents, and because the Cubs are 1 game up, they take the division.
Well, they each got 7 games left. They each got Cubs have got 4 against Pittsburgh and 3 against Cincinnati, and
that's right.
Cardinals the other way around. And
I think both teams either go 4-3 or 5-2.
2-5 for the Cubs, 3-4 for the Cardinals.
I can't see them going under 500.
I can. It's been a weird year. It's been a weird year in that division right there. Both teams are going back and forth and down on the standings.
Then let's talk about the NL. Let's talk about the NL West. Aaron is just, thanks to you in Baltimore, she's just coming.
This series, this race should come down to the last series of the year. San Diego, a little bit like Detroit, did a really good job of building enough of a cushion to hold on. They've got 2.5 games up. They've got 3 against Los Angeles, and then they face Arizona for 3. Arizona has to play 4 against Washington, which you think if they go 2-2, that may not be enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look down here at the NL wild card now. Mm-hmm. Right now, Diamondbacks leading by 1, Cardinals hanging on, Mets only a game and a half out, and then you got Milwaukee and Philadelphia both there at 3.5. Still technically not out of it, but when you're Philly and you've lost your last 4, it's hard. And when you're the Mets, when you won your last 6, you're either taking a division or a wild card spot, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think mathematically Philly's not done, but Philly's kind of in the same position as Houston right now, where they're close, but with the amount of teams ahead of them and with the way they've been playing, I think they're dead.
So I believe, hold on, how many games do each team have left? I want to look at something real quick here. Let's see here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So almost, but I think not technically, we've got a 2-team race for the number 1 overall draft pick. Wait, no, it's officially done. I lied. Congratulations to Danny Smith Jr. on clinching the number 1 overall draft pick. Miami Marlins will be taking at number 2.
I don't think he clinched the number 1 draft pick. I think he inherited a team that was right on track to get the number 1 draft pick.
So let's have a little. It wouldn't be a "here's why you're wrong" episode without some arguing.
That's true. We've been agreeing a lot tonight.
You know what? It's a nice change of pace, but I still feel like arguing because we decided to stay up this late and I need to have some fun in my life because I work a lot. So who's the biggest disappointment this season?
Biggest disappointment? Man, that's a really tough call. I want to say Braves as a team that paraded themselves around as a potential playoff team in the preseason. But I do have to go. I have to go Tampa Bay Rays right now. I have to say Rays because Charles and I spent the entire offseason pumping up our Rays as the 1-2 for the division. And Tampa Bay was right in the running for most of the year. And they've completely fallen apart at the end of the year. They're my biggest disappointment so far.
I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Pirates. You're led by the amount of CCPs you have over there, Cody, and you can't do beep.
You know what? I'm tempted to agree with you.
No, Brenden, no.
I want to say it, but I don't think that they're the biggest disappointment. I think they collapsed early and everyone saw it coming. I think the longer, more drawn out tragedies are much more disappointing.
But here's my thing, okay? You talk about Charles and being a disappointment. He's 85 and 70. I mean, he's 15 games above 500. I don't think that's a disappointing season. I don't think that's a disappointing season. The fact of the matter is in any other season, the Red Sox haven't been this good. The Red Sox are playing out of their mind. If the Red Sox weren't playing like this and they were playing like the Red Sox of the past few years in eMLB, we're not talking about Charles as a disappointment.
No, we're not.
So that's why you can't call him.
However, if the Cubs aren't playing out of their mind right now, we're not talking about Pittsburgh. The Cubs have supplanted Pittsburgh's place as the CCP capital of the NL Central.
Correct, but they're not all created by the same guy.
That's true. This is I've made the joke before. I think offline that the Pirates are more than any other team. The Pirates are a personal experience for Cody.
Marc-Andre Fleury, Cody Koshin, Barry Bonds Jr.
He's got Bruce Wayne, I think, in the minors right now.
Jesus Christ!
And he had another one this last draft.
Jesus, Cody.
I love it. He's got a personal stake in his team. He's invested.
I mean, that's like part of the reason why we talk about different trades that you make at deadlines. Like I traded away a center field prospect in my organization because he belonged to the old GM and I didn't want any remnants of the old GM that I could handle, you know?
That's fair.
Like that was part of it. Also, shout out, I shared something in the Discord the other day. Shout out to Enrique Bradfield, a Braves farmhand, for being the sole reason that Vanderbilt did something good this year.
Yeah, if he manages to have that kind of speed potential in eMLB, you know.
GMs, my phone lines are open.
Throwing out the trade talk.
I mean, not throwing it out there, just, you know.
Just testing the waters a little bit.
Everyone has to test the waters. Now, I think we'll obviously come back here and talk about playoffs. We're going to do a season wrap-up special here at the end here, the next episode that comes out. But what do you think is going to be the biggest offseason move, just looking at it now? Which team is going to make the biggest offseason splash?
Which team's going to make the biggest offseason splash? I'm going to go ahead and give you two parts to this answer. I think one team that is doing really well this year is going to upset some people by selling off some parts. And I think another team is going to buy and is going to be really aggressive in trying to buy. Right now, I think Kansas City is set to buy. I think Kansas City is going to go out of their way to get as much star talent on their team as possible to try and keep the train going.
Okay.
And you know what? I think that we're going to start seeing a bit of a dismantling coming from Texas. Not a complete, but they have got a couple issues they're going to have to work out here. And I think they have a lot of pieces that they can maybe move around.
So here's where I'm at. I think the biggest, because I'll break it into the two parts like you did. I think the biggest sellers, I think, honestly, I'm looking at the teams right now. I think the people who end up selling the most of sort of what they've got in their league, even though it's not great, like it's quite mediocre at best. I think we see a lot of movement out of Los Angeles when it comes to the Dodgers. I think we see a lot of some of these older, a little more talented players head on their way out. Blake Snell could be on the move. Someone like a Corey Seager could be on the move. And I think the biggest buyers are going to be a team that's very, very close. They're just a few pieces away from making a run. I'm going to go to the AL Central. And I'm going to go with GT Sundown and the Minnesota Twins. I think they are going to find a way. They don't have a lot in the minors, but they're going to find a way to finesse some trades, maybe make a few free agent moves. And I think that we've seen what Mark's team can do. We know Minerva's on their way up. GT Sundown could be a little sneaker who we're not thinking of in that division. With the way the White Sox and Tigers are going like this, I think Kansas City's going like this, and I think Twins are going to join them right there.
And while this is happening, Cleveland.
Just Cleveland. Sadier, we love you.
Or Sadier.
We love you.
I want one more note on the Rangers. I say they may need to dismantle a little bit, is they have several contracts for players they're not getting much value out of. That
I also think they have so many bullpen arms that they can move an entire bullpen and still have an entire bullpen left.
Yeah, they can.
Hey, if DeMarcus Evans wants to come to Atlanta, we'd love to have him. You know where to find me.
You want his $12 million for each of the next 2 years plus the player option for 12.5?
I've got the budget space for it at the end of this season.
Yeah, you know what you do. That's fair.
I do have for a top end reliever like that. I have the budget space.
I want to do one more thing before we get out of here.
Please.
I want to talk about payroll and winning, because
they have zero correlation.
Exactly, and it makes me so happy as a small budget team. So if we go to Stats Plus and we sort by all the teams with the biggest payrolls, the Dodgers are paid $31 million more than the Angels for the pleasure of having a losing season. That's
wait. Hold on. I gotta stop. I was just looking at a stat real quick. Can we point out the fact that the Mets are 2.5 out and basically have an even run differential? They're only plus 19.
Huh. I had not seen that. They're 4 games above where they should be by Pythagorean.
But I mean, like, what? Also,
yeah.
also,
there's a.
Wow.
I mean, the Royals are only 21 up,
and the Brewers, who are still in the race, are minus 31.
Oh man, I want one more lament for Cody's Pirates. Plus 18 run differential, almost the same as the Mets, but they're 12 games worse.
Also, honestly, shout out to JR, who's at the bottom of his division, but yet has less than 100, like less than minus 100 run differential.
The Reds have made some solid strides this year. Losing is never fun, but they've made progress.
They have made progress. Also, I love looking at these stats that are on here, though. One of the coolest things that I like to look at is, like, even though it doesn't make any sense, the fact of the matter is that I didn't realize how good or bad some of these teams were until you look at the stats. The fact of the matter is that post All-Star break, the Braves had been above 500.
Oh yeah, 34 and 33.
Look, I would take 500 right now. All right,
fair. That's fair. We're still 45 and 23.
You are very much still 45 and 23. And
Aaron's 42 and 23. Tom's 40 and 27. Minerva's 42 and 25.
Seattle's 38 and 28.
Yeah, Seattle started terrible.
What's going on in Seattle? I feel like they're the team that we never talk about or never hear about in eMLB.
No, and sometimes I might feel that that's a little bit by design on Hetz's part.
I feel like Hetz is just going to be
performing. He just kind of hides under the rock a little bit.
I think Hetz is going to be a secret assassin. Like he's just going to come in here and just next season or something, just do something that's like, what?
Well, the talent this team has is ridiculous, and the talent this team has been ridiculous for a couple years now. They're just not getting the production out of that talent. You know, Judge Dozier, he traded for from the Pirates, has had a terrible season. Mm-hmm. But he's just started all year, and he's still got the talent to be really good. Pepe Clark is, not having an out-of-the-world year like he had last year. Still good. Still a lot of talent there. Eric Kelly has not played up nearly to his career level. I think he's just got a lot of talent and a lot of underperforming talent. And if you can get a lot of performance out of that, his team's gonna be dangerous.
I think we're gonna have, I hate to say it this way, but 5 out of 6 divisions where at least 3 teams are challenging towards the end of the season next year.
Maybe. That's a big plus for eMLB, is that we've got a really deep league, especially with all the CCPs that are running around right now, that allows a lot of teams to be competitive.
Because I'm just looking at post All-Star break, or even just looking at the stats from this year. I see 3 contenders in the AL East. I see 2 in the AL Central. I see 3 in the AL West, potentially 4. I see 4 in the NL East. I see 4 in the NL Central. And I see 3 in the NL West.
Yeah.
I mean, I think next year is going to be insane, no matter what happens.
I feel like, you got to account for a couple teams that should make it underperforming. All of the Pirates.
All of the Atlanta Braves.
But I think this year's American League races really agree with what you're saying. I feel like the National League has had 2 divisions where both were that battled each other, that have really ground each other down in the East and the Central. But in the American League, you've had the top level teams completely run away with it and still be close. There's definitely a lot more parity in the National League, but there's more good teams in the American League, I'd say.
I'd agree. Well, thank you for joining us for this episode of Here's Why You're Wrong. I know there wasn't a lot of arguing. It was more of just us telling people why they were wrong, not necessarily each other.
Yeah. Well, still with the tagline.
Still with the tagline. Minerva, here's why you're wrong. You know what? I don't like to give out awards. Actually, I do. I love giving out awards. Who are we kidding? Minerva, you get the I don't know how the F you managed it award. But you did. So, you know what? Kudos to you, my friend. Just kudos to you. I didn't see it coming, but congratulations. Playoff races are going to be hot. I don't know if we've announced yet what the plan is for the next episode of the podcast, but it's I don't know that I'm allowed to. I haven't got permission yet.
Surprise.
I mean,
I'm not giving you permission. It's surprise.
It's fun.
We're going to have a really fun time next time.
I'm excited and scared at the same time. It's the most interesting episode of Here's Why You're Wrong yet. It really is.
As opposed to the mostly uninteresting episodes we've had before.
Oh no, I think last episode, I think the episode before, or I think the episode with Sadier is our best episode.
Agreed, 100%.
Not just because of the Chara Bunny.
Oh, that's true. You had to have several.
We have a lot of fun. Again, other GMs, please contact us. We want as many people on here as we can. So please shoot me a message. Mark, I'm looking at you. I want you on here. We want to talk to you.
I think when Mark gets back from vacation, we might.
Mark, we're not mad. We just want to talk.
We're not mad. We're disappointed.
Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to join the Discord to get the rest of the conversation going. If you have any ideas, put them in the comments below. If you'd like to follow us, please do so. And once again, thank you so much for joining us. Here's been another episode of Here's Why You're Wrong. It's an emergency episode. We'll be back with our next episode with some special guests. Thank you so much. Have a great one.